You fuck. You absolute goddamn coward.
We don't plan here.
You planned for that. I saw it in your eyes.
I had to plan to counter your plan. Ben unwrapped the cookies, the Thin Mint, the Girl Scout Thin Mints we were eating, so we wouldn't have the crinkling situation. But that's a coward's way
Guess
out.
what, fucker? I'm gonna cut that out.
No. No! Also, take that off the floor because I don't want the dogs to get it. Because we're going to forget it. That's right. Yeah, my trash can's full. Also, the dogs get into the trash can very easily. That's not
my
gonna
problem.
You're going to get Uncle Ben killed.
Fucker, you
This whole thing is making more crinkly noise. Stop it. Welcome to episode 32 of Cookies and Milk. I'm your host, William.
I'm your host, Ben. We still haven't figured out a really concrete plan of, serving these cookies.
I have I have an idea for the topic, and it's things in video games that we don't like, but no one else seems to like, or that seems to talk about. That we and I don't. We might have talked about something like this in the past, but whatever. And it's
time is an illusion,
and it's Dishonored. And I don't care about the game as a whole, but a real quick way for it to be like, hey, you want to get the best, you want to get the good ending?
I think we've talked about exactly this before.
Dishonored?
Exactly this topic, Dishonored specifically.
In
order to get the best ending, you have to not kill anyone.
Right. Did I tell you why that's annoying?
I can figure out why that's annoying. Our audience can figure out why that's annoying. You don't need to baby them. They're smart.
There's not enough options. There's not enough non-lethal options. You are given a sleep dart, and it is impossible to get more sleep darts. So you got 4. You got to sell around every other enemy in the game, but I don't know how. It's just bad.
It requires too much out of you.
It requires too much out of the player. For a game that seems like good ending, bad ending. Your choices impact the game. It's not a choice.
Yeah. You can make every good choice in the game, but it's but you're a murderer too. No shit.
Yeah.
I'm an assassin. That's my job description.
Yep. So, talking about that, did that get you thinking about anything?
Speaking of assassin, I feel like I loop onto this a lot.
You hate Assassin's Creed.
The game doesn't get enough hate, I feel like. There's a lot of games that don't get enough hate.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody in the world liked Destiny, but we weren't vocal enough with our dislike of Destiny to keep it from getting a sequel. Or a squeakle, if you will.
I think too many people that didn't know how they should be treated as a consumer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is a thing about the gaming industry as a whole, and I feel like I've talked about this before. But it's this can't be okay. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. The trailer came out for that one.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk to you about this anyways. Because I really liked Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Ultimate.
Right.
The game was so much fun.
Despite the lack of Mega Man.
Right, there was just Zero, and was that Tronbon? Was Tronbon in that one?
Tronbon was in that one.
Of course.
And then Box Art Mega Man was also there.
That was
DLC?
Tekken, Street Fighter vs. Tekken.
Oh, okay.
But it's the game came out, and it looks really sweet. There's not going to be any more X-Men in it.
What?
And it was well, why are they doing that? And it became painfully obvious once you watched the trailer. Because the game isn't so much Marvel vs. Capcom as much as it is the Marvel Cinematic Universe versus Capcom.
Oh.
Ultron is the main antagonist, and he looks straight out of the movie, and it's alright.
But X-Men have had movies.
But not by Marvel.
Oh. That seems...
Yeah. I know, it's a really shitty thing, and it feels like the game is going to be less wholesome, I guess. But they took out the rapid character swapping.
Really?
I think that's what I heard. because they showed off a gameplay trailer and it showed like the same air combos as before, but they didn't swap in anybody, and that's a shame because that was the most fun part of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
God, I hate you. I hate you so much.
Me and William here get into fighting games about as casually as is physically possible, and to the point where we're starting to get like good at it, like reasonable at it, like we know what all the buttons do, but not all together. I
Right.
figured out how to swap between characters in the mid-air combos, and William never did.
But I figured out how to actually swap between characters, but you never did.
The only way I knew how to swap between
You had
characters
to learn the hardest way to swap between characters.
was the aerial combos.
But that's something we will do. We will withhold information
Right.
because we're little fucks.
Because it's like, why?
And you fucking did it in Star Fox. That was, I hate you for that.
Okay, I could do U-turns and
You figured out how to do
somersaults.
U-turns. You were able to do this, where you could go
Yeah, the somersault where you just get behind the person who's
Yeah.
chasing you.
and you never told me how to do it. I hate it.
There's, in one part it is like actively withholding the information, and it's another part that it's just like I literally don't know how I did this.
Oh,
It wasn't the case in Star Fox. I knew how I was doing it.
right. And I know how I was doing it with Marvel vs. Capcom, and like any other fighting game, it's
Yeah.
one of the R buttons.
I swear to God, I like never know that. I can never figure out.
You gotta learn how to use it.
And it's also like 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I'm pressing the buttons. It's not doing anything. And it's like, you gotta be holding back too. And it's like, alright, whatever. I'm just gonna do it in the air.
Yeah.
But they took that out, and it's like, ooh. And then the second thing, you remember the cast of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
Yeah.
It was like gigantic.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the case with
DLC.
Yeah. It's gonna be on the same
What the fuck
season
did you
pass
think would happen?
as Street Fighter. I mean, I was hoping after.
Wait, the same
It's-
season pass?
It's gonna
Like,
be
if
the
you
same
had
sort of
already-
season pass as Street Fighter 5.
Oh, so they're releasing an incomplete game.
Right. That's the thing. That's what I had hoped. That they had learned from their mistakes with Street Fighter 5 and the unfortunate launch.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I guess not. I guess I was
You
thinking
can't ask Capcom to learn.
they put Mega Man X in the game though.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
No classic.
No classic. I mean, not yet.
Is Zero there?
No, Sigma is the
Ooh,
also the big bad.
I'm
So
liking that. I like that.
You should
they
watch-
never use Sigma.
you should watch the cinematic trailer because it's a team up between Ultron and Sigma.
Okay. I'm on board with Marvel vs. Capcom now.
I want to show you.
I don't care that
wanna
it's the
show you-
cinematic universe. Ultron and Sigma are a great combo.
I want to show you the trailer, but we're on the podcast right now, so I can't do it. But it's like I watched the cinematic trailer and I was so hyped, and they showed off the collector's edition.
Yeah.
Which is 4 figures and like a thing of the Infinity Stones,
Ooh.
and it's like what?
How
the
much is
fuck?
that?
They haven't put out a price yet.
Jesus.
And then I was
Christ.
like, I was about to do it, and then I heard like it's got the same season pass thing.
I don't care.
The other ones, I know.
Like, would you care at that point?
It's so much. This is the weirdest way for this conversation to go. I expected to go into this and you to be like, I was like, and the season pass comes with like 4 figures, and you would be like, don't do that. And I was like,
It's different. It's different when I love Mega Man.
the figures are
Actually, yeah. Are there any Mega
it's
Man?
Mega Man X, Iron Man.
There you go.
Miss Marvel and Chun-Li, I think.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Iron Man is one of my favorite Marvel heroes.
Yeah, and then
Mega Man X is
there
one of
you
my
go.
favorite Mega Mans. I'm not gonna buy the collector's edition because I don't have money to throw around.
Right. Cash returns coming in, dude.
I don't have any cash return. I don't have any taxes.
Dude,
I
buy
don't
that.
pay for taxes because I don't make money. This podcast isn't giving me shit.
I haven't taken all the funds. I've been.
Funds? What are funds? The cookie funds. But no, I don't think Sigma was never in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's fun. No Phoenix, right?
Not yet. They showed. Here's the characters they showed. I think her name is Ms. Marvel. I'm not entirely sure. Ms. Marvel, Iron Man, Hawkeye, Captain America, Hulk, Thor, Mega Man, Chun-Li, Chris Redfield.
Ryu?
Ryu, not yet.
Huh.
And I wouldn't assume he'd be there if Chun-Li is there, since they're very similar characters.
Well, they've always been in the games.
Was Ryu in?
There's no way Ryu wasn't in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But speaking of season passes, Battlefront 2 won't have a season pass.
Yeah, I heard about that. That it's like got a real story mode and everything.
Yeah, which I'm sure that'll be fun. I'm not gonna buy it because I got really bored with Battlefront 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fun game, but it just sort of died out when I didn't get the DLC. And I was listening to a podcast, Dude Soup from Funhouse, but they said, and they talked about that, and it wasn't that they weren't going to have DLC, it was that they weren't going to do the same thing they did last time, because they released the season pass saying, like, we don't know how much DLC we're going to have for it.
Right.
So they're like, we can't make, and they thought people were mad about that. I don't think they realized that they were mad about the fact that they released so much DLC that it was just half of a game.
Yeah.
That should have been $30 to start with. So they're like, we're not going to release a season pass. You're just going to have to buy all of the DLC on its own. And it's like,
God.
oh, okay. That's probably, it's,
Oh yeah, Ryu was in it.
yeah, like, fuck it, of course. Was Ryu in every single one?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
What else is there? What other game is bad with DLC? Is it Bethesda isn't bad with DLC. I mean, they release a lot of it.
Here was that thing with Fallout 4. Fallout 4 did the exact same thing. It was like, hey, here's our season pass. We legitimately do not know how much DLC we're gonna make for this game.
They made a lot though.
They made a lot. It was like, because I bought it for $20.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, DLC on top of DLC. It also, they weren't like, Fallout 4 came out, DLC day one, or Season Pass day one, you can buy it. We're not sure how much is going to be on it.
Right.
Fallout 4 was a full game.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, man, I had to buy the DLC to get the full game. No, you got the full game.
Yeah.
DLC was just more onto that full game.
Which is always what it is.
Right.
Except, I think Skyrim wasn't a fully realized game until the DLC came out, because there was not too much. With any Bethesda game, there's always not enough.
Right.
So, in certain areas. Certain areas
could be fleshed out more.
Right, and mods do that.
Right.
Which I'm mad that I have the fucking PS4. Because I want to get Skyrim for the next generation of consoles, but why would I get a game that can't function with mods?
Yeah, like what?
The whole point of the definitive edition of Skyrim is that mods finally work on console.
But
Some
they don't
mods
work on PS4.
but they don't work on goddamn PS4. Make your consoles better. Somebody.
Yeah.
Or, like, why can't they play mods?
I have no idea.
Like, is it just the software can't do it?
Because since an Xbox One is basically just a computer in a different shell,
Yeah.
it's easier to port it onto it. But Sony is not.
Because you could do it on Xbox 360.
Yeah. That was the weirdest thing. That you could set up mods and stuff on Xbox 360.
Not completely legitimately, but
It was like you jury rigged them together. You stapled the mod to the computer.
yeah, which that's fun.
Stapled the disc to the outside of your Xbox.
That's fun. I would do it if I ever figured out how to. But are you gonna get Skyrim?
No.
Do you know? Yeah, I guess.
I can burn myself out on Skyrim when I played it on the PS3.
I still think mods for Skyrim make Skyrim one of the best games ever.
Like, I'm 100% in the market. Like, mods are great. They're awesome, but I'm not going to buy a game again just to play mods.
Right.
Props to people who do. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. I'm just not into it.
You know, if I ever get I don't even need an Xbox One. I just need a good, solid computer, because then I have it on my Steam account.
Like, that's what I...
Sorry.
I'm going to get my tax return and really start building a
You have a
super
shell,
PC.
don't you?
Yeah, I have 2 shells. I can give you a shell.
I don't have any. Can't do anything with it.
Save up, dude.
Oh boy.
Next time you get your college stuff back.
Right, when I jump into the physical therapy assistant program, I'll get a fuck ton of backflow.
Yes.
But the reason I say it makes Skyrim into one of the best games ever created is because of that one. Like there was a time when I had a smooth running time with Skyrim on my old PC, on my old laptop, and I had installed the. It wasn't even like a huge mod. It was just it instilled a sense of realism in Skyrim, and it was like real noises.
It was Minecraft.
I had just downloaded Minecraft. It wasn't even Skyrim.
This is so real.
I was in the snow biome. I thought it was Skyrim. But I had gotten...
You got the titty physics. So real.
I did download porn mods. No, I didn't. I didn't download porn mods.
You said it so nonchalantly. And then we were like, that didn't read as a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke.
I didn't download sex mods. I downloaded nudity mods. But now that I've gotten here, the realism, I walked through a snowy place and I happened to find...
It was for the story. It was the side thing in a story.
I was 14. I was 15?
You were fucking 22.
I was older. I think I was 18 actually. I think I was right before my birthday. No. But I was walking through like a southern part of Skyrim. I think I've told this on the podcast before, but it was realistic weather, realistic weather, like how you deal with weather. So I had to wear a cloak, and I had these really good headphones. Bless you. Bless you.
Hey.
And like I was going through the weather, and like it was a blizzard, and like you could hear like my character's breath, and like the music, like it was just ambient. Bless you. Snow and wind, and I was just like, holy shit.
I'm here.
And I was like, and I felt cold and all that type of stuff. Oh my god. It was amazing. Are you good?
I thought I was going to sneeze again.
But if you ever get a good PC, I would recommend wholeheartedly downloading Skyrim and modding the shit.
Just doing that.
Like, it gives you so much, and you don't have to go through the beginning again. You can always just download a mod that's like a fresh start, where it's like you wake up in a jail cell.
Like a new story.
And you choose your class, you choose what your background is, you choose like where you end up.
Dude, I can get that Morrowind remake for Skyrim.
Fucking yeah. Like, Morrowind... No, dude.
I'm shaking my head violently. This is...
Dude...
I've described it. This is a joke thing.
I wish they would remake...
I
wish Bethesda would take the time to remake Morrowind.
Yeah.
And just a graphic update, maybe a tweak to combat and physics, but it was... Morrowind is a game you can get lost in. And I was... And I don't mean...
In the good way or the bad way?
It's a mix. If you get too lost... I wish...
The game is unplayable.
It is hard.
But...
It can get annoying, because it's weird if you have, like, the DLC, and you start the game, and you get targeted by the Dark Brotherhood, but then it requires you to go... That's a DLC quest that you go to another island in Morrowind, into an island that you're not supposed to be at level 1 at. You're supposed to be at level 20 when you go there.
Of course.
But it still gives me the options to go. Actually, but other than that, like combat, you can design a class. You design what class you want.
Huh.
So I decided to make an Iron Knight who specializes in alteration magics, heavy armor, sword and shield, the whole point of that character is to not take damage. Like, he has enough damage resistance in the shield spell on him, and the shields that he's not supposed to take damage, and it's fun. It's a pretty low maintenance unit. Like, you gotta repair your armor and stuff, but that's fine. But it's not like, oh, I'm casting spells on a game that might crash. Or I'm not trying to be a fast attacker. I'm just blocking as best I can.
Right.
And the controls are kind of hard. They're kind of... But I would say I did better than I did when I played the original Xbox version.
I mean,
I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, seriously. Game was like a fucking nightmare.
It looks bad. Like, and it's hard to navigate.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta look at the map and stuff. It makes sense from a fantasy standpoint, but I can't get into it.
Yeah.
Like, you had to have played it originally and have loved it enough. But yeah. How'd we get here? Oh, Bethesda DLC.
Right. 20 minutes.
I'm gonna call it because I gotta go to the bathroom.
We had the shortest episode in a while.
Yeah, we had a short amount of cookies and a short amount of milk.
That's the title of the episode.
Short amount of milk. Ooh, there's chocolate on here.
An extra cookie.
Ooh, nice little nugget. So I think that's good. Yeah, we don't need to make this long.
Yeah, we've had a lot of long ones recently.
Yeah, just a short little, like a Thin Mint. You just pop it. Hold off on that for a little while. You don't need a big cookie.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Is that how you eat Thin Mints?
I gotta go to the bathroom. All right, I've been your host, William.
I'm your host, Ben.
And that was Cookies and Milk, and now it's 21 minutes. Goodbye.